All right. So I see that, um, what is it? Oh yeah, Selena said dance. Nice, dance. I tried to join a dance team when I was in college. I realized really quickly that I'm not a rehearsal kind of girl. But dance is always fun. Um, Lewis said dressing up for Halloween. Now my son's school principal doesn't allow it. Interesting.
Mm.
Yes. That is, I know that is it like preferences or people just don't celebrate Halloween? Um, but it's sad, that
Mhm.
people like everyone can participate.
Growing up, we just was talking about this earlier, but growing up, I was not allowed to celebrate Halloween.
Mhm.
But we used to do other things, like we had a Hallelujah Fest or a Harvest Fest, where you didn't dress up, but you still got to have the fun of like getting trick or treating. But we didn't call it trick or treating; it was something else. But you still was able to get
Oh,
candy and have all of the fall festivities, But we weren't able to directly celebrate Halloween. So
interesting. That's actually a really good alternative though. It
yeah.
kind of keeps the energy of fall alive.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All righty. Are there any parents before we go ahead and continue? It's 6:08, so we want to respect everyone's time. Laura said Halloween parade and dance. Nice. Thank you for participating in the chat. We really do appreciate it. This presentation's for you guys. Shamira raised her hand. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, Shamira, and allow you to talk. Let's see.
Hey, you forgot my comment. I said hip hop, real hip. Am I the only older girl on this line? Because
Hip hop.
I went to school in the 80s. I feel discriminated against. What
No, I did
happened?
not. I missed that completely. Yes, you said participating in real hip hop. I attended high school in
Yes.
the 80s.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it. That's all I wanted.
Samir, I don't know if you
Thank
had the
you.
chance to meet Nida, but you and Nida, y'all, because Nida talks about hip hop in the 80s all the time. So I would love to hear that conversation.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for, getting off mute and also saying your experience. Thank you. Let's see. Who else? Oh, Latrice is with you, Miss Shamir Thomas. She is with you. All right, so it's 6:10, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. If anything comes up, definitely put it in the chat. We'll definitely love to hear it. All right, so like we always do here at Living Room La Sala, we always like to kind of just like center ourselves and ground ourselves in our mission. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. So Kids for Chicago's mission is to dramatically improve education for Chicago's children by ensuring their families are respected authorities and decision makers in their children's education. We partner with families to help them gain the resources, information, access, and voice they need to achieve their vision for their children. So this is Kids for Chicago's mission, and this is one of those platforms that support that, right? So we bring information to our parents. We try to make sure that parents know or are kept up to speed. And Living Room La Sala is kind of like one of those first steps. It's very low commitment. You just come in, listen in. If you want to participate and speak to us, you can. You can use the chat. So we just really want to bring these conversations to you. If there's any conversation or topic that you want Living Room La Sala to touch on, definitely put it in the chat. I will make sure to record it so we can also do what parents are interested in learning. So yeah, that's our mission. And who are speakers today? So today I'm accompanied by Imani Johnson. She's the manager of programs, partnerships, and task forces. And with me, you guys kind of see me every month, but today I will be supporting Imani and what she needs. Imani, if you want to say anything else, definitely feel free.
Yeah, very excited to be here tonight to talk about this huge shift that's happening in front of all of our eyes. I'm open to questions. I'm open to answer any questions that you all have. And I'm again just excited to be here.
Thank you. We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
All righty. And then, as we always do, before we start our session, we like to do a survey. So for today's topic, we're going to be talking about the elected school board here in Chicago. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. You could also use the QR code. Copy. Let's see. Paste. I believe that's the link, yes. So the way that we do this survey is just for us to kind of see what parents, like the knowledge that they're coming in with. And then we also do an exit survey. So we have 18 people here. I like to do at least half plus one. So at least 10 people, that would be awesome, that complete the survey. If we can get all 18, that would be even better. All right, and once you finish the survey, please put done in the chat that you completed it. I see we have one so far. Thank you, Shamira. Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much. The survey shouldn't take too long, but it's a good way for us to gauge the content. So I have 2 surveys done so far. Thank you, Dominique, Laura. While we submit this survey, if you are a new participant, like if this is your first time joining Living Room, definitely let us know in the chat. Welcome. We really do appreciate you guys taking the time to tap in, just find out what's happening in Chicago. You're new here, welcome. We're happy to have you here, Dominique. Definitely spread the word. If you like what we do here, definitely spread the word to other parents. Because it's important, you know. All right, let's see how many surveys we have so far. 11 surveys. Yes, okay. We have 11 out of 18. So for those parents that haven't had a chance to complete the survey, I put the link in the chat again. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Latrice. We really do appreciate it. All righty. So, Imani, I think we can go ahead and get started.
All right. Should I just go through the agenda?
I can go through it really quickly. So then for today, we had the welcome part, the welcome. Now we're gonna be discussing like what's happening now in Chicago. We're gonna get smart on your district's candidates, and also get involved with the school board and our closing poll and announcements. All righty. And so for tonight's metrics of success. So for today, tonight's meeting, it will be successful if parents who attend leave with the requirements and deadlines to vote in this pivotal election, a breakdown of the candidates running in each district, and an idea of how to engage with the board, ensuring their voice is heard in decisions that impact students and families across Chicago. And so we have Imani here with us today. She's definitely gonna get the nitty-gritty of like what's been happening, what, you know, is, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. I'll make sure to highlight them. If you want to verbally, you know, be a part of that conversation and you want to ask the question, raise your hand feature, definitely, and then I could go ahead and promote you to our panelist. Thank you.
All right, so thank you everyone for having me here at the living room. Like Zelly mentioned, I am here to talk about Chicago's transition to an elected school board. This is a very monumental shift in board governance for Chicago. Chicago being the last city in Illinois or district in Illinois to actually transition to an elected school board. This is, like I said, like a monumental shift. And so it's important that parents know about it, specific, and even more so Chicago residents, because even if you aren't a parent, you still will have to vote for those board members. So just making sure that everyone has the knowledge and the tools they need to make informed decisions when voting for the elected school board. So first we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening. And so in this section, we'll go over like just the transition and what that process will look like. Then we'll talk about where to find candidates on the ballot, because it's really important that people go into voting knowing exactly what to look for. And then we'll talk about the candidates in each district. Oops. So as we all know, Chicago's Board of Education will be changed to an elected school board from an appointed school board. Like I just mentioned, from an appointed to an elected board. Today's board, the way it exists, it has 7 members. All of them are appointed by the mayor to unpaid volunteer positions.
So Imani, real quick, I just want to, just for clarity purposes, can you go back like one more slide?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. So like what exactly is the difference of like an appointed and an elected school board?
Yeah, so simply an appointed board is that the mayor will say, this is who I want to be on the board making decisions for the district. We are transitioning to an elected board where that means that the people will actually get to vote in the district. So when you go to general elections to vote for president, you will also see on your ballot elected school board candidates that you will also have to vote for.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes, thank you.
No problem. So yeah, like I mentioned, today's board is 7 members and they're all appointed by the mayor. So that means the mayor comes in with his recommendations and say, hey, this is who I want to govern the district. And like I mentioned, those are unpaid volunteer positions. So board members are not paid. They work plus 20 plus hours a week, and they're all volunteer positions. So now we're going to talk about the transition. So for the November 2024 election, so when we go vote for our president in 2024, that's in November, Chicago will be split into 10 districts. And of those 10 districts, they will be divided into sub-districts that will be labeled either A or labeled B. And so, like I said, when we go in on November 5th, Chicago residents will elect 1 member in each of the 10 districts, and then the mayor will appoint 1 member in each of the 10 districts. The mayor will also appoint the citywide president as well.
What is a citywide president? Sorry.
So the president of the board will be, it won't come from, they won't be elected from an actual district like all of the other members. So, all the other members would be elected either from, 10A, 10B, 1A, 1B. Whereas the president will be elected to represent the entire district. So not just District 10 or District 1 or District 5, but the entire city.
Perfect, thank you. And for those parents, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We want the space to be more of like a conversation, learning together, which is why I'm posing questions. So definitely feel free to post questions as well.
Please do, please. And let me know if I'm going too fast. I can also slow down. So let's use District 1 as an example, because I know I just said a lot of words, but I'm a visual learner. So let's use District 1 as an example. So if the elected member lives on the A side of the district, then the mayor will appoint a member from the B side and vice versa. So like I mentioned, we'll be electing 10 members and the mayor will be appointing 10 members. So say if we elect a member in District 10A, That only leaves District 10B for the mayor to appoint. And really the reason why they're doing this is that this ensures that each district will have one elected member and then one appointed member, because we don't want it to get into the discrepancy of like, oh, this district has 2 elected members or this district has 2 appointed members. So really just making sure that there's one elected and one appointed member in each district. So a special note, elections will be held, like I mentioned, in November 5th of 2024. However, their terms will not begin until January 15th of 2025. So for 2025 and 2026, Chicago will have a hybrid board for those 2 years, where we'll have 10 elected members, plus our 10 appointed members, plus the 1 citywide president. And that'll bring us to a board of 21 total members. So we are going from a board of 7 members that are appointed to 21 members that are going to be half appointed and half elected. So now let's fast forward to 2026, where it's time for us to vote again for our elected school board members. So in 2026, Chicago will be split into 20 districts. Now, I mentioned before in 2024, right now, November of 2024, it'll be split into 10 districts. So now we're going to move up to 20 districts. And from all 20 of those districts, we will vote for a member of the board in 2026. So instead of us being half appointed, half elected, all of the board members will be elected by the people. And also all 20 districts will also vote for the president in 2026. So in the hybrid model, the mayor appoints the president. However, in 2026, when we transition to a fully elected school board, we will vote the president. So in January of 2027, the fully elected board will begin their terms. Half of them will be serving 4-year terms, and half of them will serve 2-year terms. The 10 districts where elected members reside will vote for 4-year terms, while the 10 districts where appointed members reside will vote for 2-year terms. So like I mentioned, in the hybrid model, the mayor will have to appoint half of those people and we will have to elect half of the members. So the way this works is that when we go transition into our fully elected board, the 10 sub-districts that were elected by the people, they will be voting for their candidates to have 4-year terms. And then while the 10 sub-districts where appointed members reside, they will then have to vote for 2-year terms. So that is pretty much how we're going to transition from an appointed board to an elected board over the next few years. Now let's talk about electoral districts. This was something that was extremely important to our elected school board task force, as one of our priorities was fair racial representation. And so these, when you see Latina, Black, white, that is describing the demographics of the district. And so with one of our priorities being fair racial representation, we wanted to ensure that the people who were coming from those districts to represent those districts shared identities of the people in those districts. And so that's why this is kind of important. So we're going to talk about the demographic makeup of each district. I'm going to be using 2 words, majority and plurality. And I want to explain what they mean before I use them. So majority means, so say if you have 3 demographics, we got Latina, Black, and white. If 49% of them are Latina, 26% of them are Black, and 25% of them are white, the majority of them, the plurality of them would be Latina, because that is the largest percentage. Now, if you had 51% of Latina, then that means the Latina population would be the majority. And so let's talk about the demographic breakdown of the district. So each district has about 274,000 residents in each of them. 3 of those districts are majority, plurality, Latina. 3 of them are majority plurality Black, and 4 of them are majority plurality white. And so our thinking behind this, like again, like I said, would be that we wanted to make sure that the board demographics represented the demographics of CPS students and not so much of Chicago, because we know that those demographics are extremely different. And so just making sure that in the drawing of these districts, of this district mapping, that we were representative of the students in Chicago. So now I want to walk you all through where to find candidates on your ballot. So I'm going to open up a sample ballot. Let me see. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So on the ballot, if you scroll down to about the second page of your ballot, you will see right here. Can you see while I'm hovering my?
Yeah.
Where it says Board of Education? This is where you will find the candidates for your district. So you will not see all of the candidates. You'll only see the candidates for your district. So this is an example of District 1. So we only see the 2 District 1 candidates on the ballot. And it's right below the circuit court judges.
And that would be one of them from District 1, either A or B. Is that where you're?
Right. So
Okay.
these people will be elected to either District A or B, depending on what side of town they live on.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So
cool.
if Jennifer Custer lives in 1A, then the mayor will then appoint to 1B.
1B. Okay. Thank you.
So do we have any questions before I move on where to find candidates on the ballot? You good? Okay. Okay. So now we can move on. So before we move on, I want us to take a pause. If you all could please scan this QR code to find what district you live in. If you don't know, this is a great tool to help you find, what district you live in, who are your candidates. So please take one moment to scan this QR code, figure out what district you're in, because we're going to go into the candidates in each district shortly.
Awesome. And I will also put it in the chat. If you can't do the QR code or if it's not working, you also have it there. All right, Shamira said, my issues are I don't know them. I would like to know more before casting a vote.
Awesome. And Shamira, I wanted to let you know that we're going to share a resource with you all by the end of this living room session that can help you do that. So WBEZ created a candidate guide that literally lists every candidate in each district. They partnered with some community organizations, including our elected school board task force, to kind of come up with a bunch of questions to ask candidates, send them to them, and then they respond to them and they put them in a guide that they can, it's literally questions about all of the pressing issues in CPS right now. And so if you really want to get to know your candidates, please look at that WBEZ voter guide that we're going to share with you all.
All right. Kendall actually put it here, voter's guide. It's in the chat now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kendall.
And we're going to go through the candidates in each district and a little bit about each candidate shortly.
Did our parents kind of looking it up? Do you guys already know what district you're in? Definitely let us know in the chat. Do you know your district?
All right. I know it takes a little bit because it's really specific about how you enter your address. So I'm give people a couple minutes. All right, Nancy, District 7. Kata says she knows her district.
Nice.
Awesome. Kata, are you in District 5? Okay. Oh, so you literally only have one person on your ballot. Okay, I see District 12. Thank you, Paula. District 7. I see a lot of District 7s. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I see everybody's district is coming through the chat, so I think everybody is getting clear on what their districts are. So now we're going to go through each district and talk about a little bit about the candidates in each district. WBEZ, like I said, created this voter guide, and this is where we got all of this information from. Plus, there's 10 times more. There's full profiles for each candidate under that WBEZ voter guide. So I really, like I said, encourage you all to go take a look at it, go play with it. I've been looking at it for about a week or so now, and I find it to be an extremely helpful tool. So let's talk about District 1. So in District 1, we have two candidates. We have Jennifer Custer and Michelle N. Pierre. Jennifer Custer is a parent, or either has been a parent, a former parent, or is, of course, a parent now of a student. And she also has worked in education. Then we have Michelle Pierre. She's a parent. She's worked in education, and she also has been an LSC member. In District 2, we have 4 candidates: Ebony DeBerry, Margaret Cullerton Hooper, Kate Doyle, and Bruce Leon. Ebony, she is a parent. She has worked in education. She's also an LSC member, and she has worked for CPS. Margaret, she is a parent. She's worked in education and also on an LSC. Kate Doyle, she's a parent. She's worked in education as well. And then Bruce Leon, he's also a parent. In District 3, we have 2 candidates. We have Carlos Rivas Jr., and then we have Jason Duns. Carlos has worked in education, and he has also worked for CPS. Jason, he is a parent. He has worked in education. He's an LSC member, and he's also worked for CPS. I believe Jason is an LSC member at Moose. So in District 4, we have 6 candidates. We have Karen Zakor, Ellen Rosenfeld, Kimberly Brown, Thomas Day, Carmen Giosa, and Andrew Davis. Karen is a parent. She's worked in education. She also has been on the LSC and has worked for CPS. Ellen as well, also a parent, worked in education, has participated in the LSC and worked for CPS as well. Kimberly is a parent, and she has worked in education. Thomas Day is a parent. He's worked in education, and he has also worked for CPS. Carmen is a parent. She's worked in education. She's also an LSC member, and she's worked for CPS. And then we have Andrew Davis. He's a parent. He's worked in education, and he has also been on the LSC.
And all of this you can find in the voter's guide? Oh, nice.
Yes. Yep. Literally, these are screenshots from the voter's guide.
Okay.
There's a drop down right under this that talks about key issues, asks them why they're running, and then I said, there's a full profile of every question that they answered regarding any CPS issue.
Okay, cool.
District 5, this is one of the districts where this is like I guess you could say a unicorn. So we have Aaron G2 Brown. He's a parent, he's worked in education, and he's an LSC member. This district is actually one of the different kind of unique districts. As we see, there's only one candidate in this district. So this candidate is running uncontested at the moment. I see Anthony has his hand raised.
All right, I'm gonna
Lester Anthony, sorry.
You can unmute now.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
Hello, hello.
So my question is on the ballot. So I see that each one has a number of members. So it depends on the candidates that it would have those many. So like District 5 only have one. So on the ballot, it will only have just him. Now it'll be him plus the one that the mayor elect.
No, so none of the appointments are going to be on your ballot at all. Only the people, only the people who have made it onto the ballot who are candidates. We
Okay.
won't know who the mayor will be appointed technically.
Oh, okay. So that was I was trying to wait until I was like, well, now I'm a little confused. Okay, thank you for the
No
clarity.
problem. No
Okay,
problem.
great. Okay.
And I think we had another hand up, or did it go down? I think
It's
it went.
Miss Carter. I'm gonna go ahead and promote.
I just want to say about the one candidate in our district, I think that what people are not aware of is that he is a member of CORE. CORE is an organization that is supported by the Chicago Teachers Union. This is also one of the districts where the attorneys came in and knocked off the parents in order to have that one person who is left standing. And I think that is important for people to know that. And I don't know if you guys saw my comment in the chat, and I'm basically going to write my name in. And I know that, I'm not a candidate, but I just refuse to vote for that person because of how it's shaked out. It would be one thing if he fairly, was the candidate of choice, but they didn't give us a choice. And I'm not okay with that.
Absolutely. We had a candidate forum in District 5 where we invited Aaron, and we also invited at the time, if there was one other candidate on the ballot, Michaela Blaze, we invited her as well, and she actually responded. However, G2 did not respond to us, so we didn't have the opportunity to get the chance to hear about his platform or his campaign. But yes, this is one of those situations where, I feel like the Austin community, or the West Side, has been kind of disenfranchised in their voting because they don't have a choice. And so this was a really peculiar situation where we had two candidates on the ballot. And then at the last moment, one of the candidates dropped from the ballot. And so now we're left with one. So we know who our, for now, I guess we kind of know who our board member could be, but there are some write-ins. We had the opportunity to meet Miss, I think, Carnitha Jenkins, I think is her name. And she's also a write-in. We had the opportunity to speak with her and hear a little bit about her platform as well. So there are, like you said, Ms. Cotta, write-in options for sure. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat, because I think it's important to bring that forward. Now moving on to District 6, and where we have 3 candidates. I actually had the opportunity to hear all of these candidates at a candidate forum. We have Jessica Biggs, Anusha Tatakura, and Andre Smith. So Jessica, she's a parent. She's worked in education. She's also an LSC member, and she has worked for CPS. Anusha, she worked in education. And Andre Smith, he's a parent. We have District 7. We have 3 candidates on the ballot for District 7. We have Yesenia Lopez, Eva Villalobos, and Raquel Don. Yesenia, she has worked in education. Eva is a parent, and Raquel Don, she's a parent and a LSC member as well.
I don't know if you already mentioned this, Imani, but is it too late, like, for someone to join the ballot?
So it's too late for you to get officially on the ballot. However, like write-ins, you can write in. So there was a process that write-ins had to go through to turn in some paperwork, which I think the deadline may have been ended for that. I'm not exactly sure what the deadline was, but I believe I heard that it ended sometime last month.
Okay.
And so if you have not submitted the paperwork that you need to be a write-in, then these are pretty much it.
Okay.
These are all of the candidates that's going to be on the ballot. So in District 8, we have 2 candidates. We have Angel Gutierrez and Felix Ponce. Angel is a parent and he has worked in education. And then we have Felix, who is a parent. He's worked in education and he's also worked for CPS as well. In District 9, we have 4 candidates: Teresa Boyle, Lynette M. Thomas, Lamont Raymond Williams, and Mikhail Lewis. I think her name is Therese, actually. Sorry. Therese is a parent. She's worked in education and she's also worked for CPS. Lynetta Thomas, she's a parent. Lamont, he has worked in education. And then Mikhail, he is a parent. He's also has some education background as well. And then finally, we have District 10, where we have another 4 candidates. I also had the opportunity to hear from these candidates. So we have Adam Schaefer, we have Shay Rhymefest Smith, Karen Norrington Reeves, and then Robert Jones. Adam, he's a parent, he's worked in education, he's also a LSC member and has worked for CPS. Then we have Rhymefest, he is a parent and he has worked in education. Karen Norrington Reeves, she is a parent, she's worked in education and she's also a community LSC member. And then Robert Jones, he is a parent and he's also an LSC member. And I believe he's also a community pastor as well. That has nothing to do with education, but I just thought it was a cool fact. So these are our candidates for this inaugural school board. So again, keep your eye out for them on the ballot. Please, again, go check out the WBEZ voter guide to learn more about these candidates, because it's extremely important to go in knowing what their stances on things are.
I know I've gotten a few text messages from, I don't know if other parents have, I don't know if you have, Imani, but it's like a flyer and it says like their speech for the district that I used to live in, because I haven't changed my address yet. But I don't know if parents have. And Edna said, curious with so many candidates that worked for CPS, what happens if a candidate who currently works for CPS gets elected? Do they continue working for CPS or have to take leave or resign? Interesting question. Imani, I don't know if you.
So I'm not necessarily sure, but I do know as far as like the candidate requirements, if you were a CPS vendor who made over $1,000 through CPS, then you were not able to be a candidate. So I'm pretty sure that people who work for CPS will not be able to, or will have to resign from their CPS position. So yeah. Any more questions before we move into our next section? Okay, so our next section is just going to focus on getting smart on your candidate and getting smart on the voting process. So understanding how and where to vote, and then also understanding the voter requirements as well as like prohibitions to voting. So here's everything we need to know about voting. So here's the when to vote. I've mentioned this multiple times. I'm gonna keep saying it. November 5th of 2024, we will be voting in 10 districts. 10 members from 10 districts will be up for election. And then fast forwarding 2 years later, when it's time for us to transition to the fully elected board, voting will take place on November 3rd, where 20 districts and the president will be up for election. And how to vote, you're going to be voting at your normal polling place. So wherever you go to vote for a president, you're going to go, and that's where you're going to be voting for your elected school board candidate. And these elections will take place at the same time as other elections, like the president and the governor elections. So let's talk about the eligibility criteria to vote, because we know that like there are some requirements and prohibitions associated with voting. So in order to vote, you have to be a U.S. citizen, you have to be a registered voter, and you have to have lived in the district that they are voting in. So if you live in District 1A, you have to have lived in District 1 for at least a year to vote for that district. Now, as far as prohibitions, like I mentioned, non-citizens cannot vote. So that means even if you have refugee status, if you are a resident or have a green card, visas, a DACA recipient, or if you're undocumented, you won't be able to vote in these elections. However, there will be a non-citizen advisory board where non-citizens are able to advise the board on issues related to non-citizen families.
I have a question, Imani. So
yeah.
When you said lives in the district they're voting in, so let's say like I just moved into District 7. True story, right? I just moved to District 7. Originally, I was in District 3. If I did the paperwork and everything to move to District, I would not be able to vote for District 7 because I'm less than a year here.
Yes, so from my
Okay.
understanding, you would have to vote for District 3.
Oh, okay. Okay,
But I do want to, that's a tricky one. So I do want to get clarity. I might have to do some research on that one. That is pretty tricky. But from what I understand, you would have to vote from the previous district
The
that you lived
previous.
in, and as long as you lived in that district for a year.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Thank you.
Any questions about eligibility criteria before I move on? Okay. So now I want us to take a moment and just look through the voter's guide. I'll open it up here. Zelly, you are in District 7 now, right?
Yes.
So we'll just look through District 7. So like I mentioned, so you can see the screenshot here that we took. But if you go and say more details, you can see here where it says like the candidate's top 3 issues, like what their current occupation is, and also, which I think is a really cool feature, how much money they've raised in their campaign. You can also see a few of the questions. So how did your elementary school teachers describe you? Why are you running? But if you go into the read full questionnaire, there's a complete profile for each candidate. And it shows everything from hometown, where they grew up, their age, their connections to CPS. And then if you continue scrolling, then you'll start to get into some of the questions. So like, for example, academics, this first question says about 31% of Chicago public schools, elementary students are meeting state standards in reading, and 19% are meeting math standards. How would you approach growing reading and math achievement? So they literally have a response to every question. And these are the different, I guess you can say, I'm losing my words, topics of the question. So we got academics, CPS finances, school choice, independence, police in schools, busing in facilities, bilingual education, and then also just top local issues. So all of the pressing things that are happening in CPS, we have a response from these candidates on how and what they feel about them.
That's pretty neat.
Oh.
Everything is like encompassed in like one
One
site.
thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in one site.
So again, like you can go back and you can pick another district. So let's go to District 5.
Just one candidate.
With
Oh,
just the one candidate. Yep. And then you
look,
have
there's a write-in.
Yes, we do. Let me look. So these are the 2 write-ins they have submitted for District 5.
Okay.
We got Joseph. I haven't had the opportunity to meet him yet. And we have Kernitha Jones, who are the 2 candidates, who are write-in candidates.
So that means if you are from that district and you want to vote for either of them, you just have to make sure you write
their name in.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So this is just a quick look at the candidate guide. Like I said, I really encourage everyone to go in and do as much digging as you can for your district, because it's best to go into voting with all the information than none of it. So.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions for the parents? Have you guys already been using this site? Is this the first time you hear about it? We could definitely put it in the chat one more time for parents that might have missed it or jumped on a little after.
Shamira, you are not the first person. You and Claiborne says this all. Claiborne says I sound like Keke Palmer all the time. Okay, Paula, this is your first time. Yeah, so like I said, go in there and do as much digging as you can. I don't even live in Chicago, and I've literally looked through every candidate in each district because it's just that it's really interesting information. So
Yeah.
please do.
Latrice says you do sound like her.
Okay.
All right, Martha also is her first time. Well, I'm glad you guys are here and you're getting this information. This is what this platform's for. Whatever we know, we want to make sure that parents know. So definitely, I'm glad to see that parents are getting information they need Edna said another interesting resource is Chalk Beat Chicago. Also has information about who's donating to candidates. That's a good one.
Yes.
Candidates campaign in case that info is helpful to anyone. That is really good. Thank you so much.
Yes, Chalkbee has, well, they have some awesome tools. Like let's just start there. They have the candidate tracker, which is what um Edna is talking about. It's like an expense tracker for each candidate. It shows
Oh,
exactly how much each candidate has collected for their campaign, which I think is pretty awesome.
that is
One of
awesome.
our priorities was campaign spending limits, making sure that people who have the most money aren't the winners just because they have more money. So I think it's a great just a way to see, who's winning and
Yeah.
kind of why, you know.
Edna, if you got that link, definitely feel free to share it here. And we could also do some digging and put it in our follow-up email.
Yeah, I have it somewhere that I can share. If Edna doesn't have it right now at her disposal, I can share with you, Zelly, and we can send it.
Yes, then I can put in the follow-up so we can
Okay.
all stay informed.
Awesome. Okay, let's move forward. Now let's talk about how to get involved. So first we want to talk about like what are some places where you can go meet some of the candidates who are running, and then talk about how to get involved with the current board. We know that we're going to be going from a 7-member board to a 21-member board, and it could be a little icky on the way. And so just making sure that we're involved early and often, which is an early childhood term, but I think it applies here. Early and often is the best way to do it. So meet your candidates. So MICVA Challenge will be hosting a youth elected school board town hall, forum, candidate forum, where they'll have all of the candidates across the city from each district. I'm not sure if they have gotten RSVPs from each candidate, but they will have representation from each district there. And so if you're interested in learning more about your candidates and really hearing what their stances are, or even asking some tough questions, please feel free to attend this candidate forum at Harold Washington Library. And it's from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m.
I think you also have to RSVP. So I have that link towards the end.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat now. Let me just go ahead and get it.
Awesome. Okay, so Zelly just dropped that in the chat. I'll move forward. So now let's talk about some ways to get involved and some ways for you to get your voices heard by the board. Specifically talking about the new process for sign up to speak at the Board of Education meetings. So there probably will be a lot of change happening, thinking about, like I said, the fact that we're going from a 7-member board to a 21-member board. So just really thinking about how will we be able to make sure that all of the voices in each district are represented. And so I think this is a kind of a first start to that. And so I wanted to share it with you all. So let's talk about what's the difference of the new board sign-up process. So as we know, if you have any type of issue or want to speak to something and you want the board to hear, you are able to sign up to speak for the board. Originally, there was about a little bit of a time frame. There were 30 slots, and once the slots were filled up, that was it. The slots were gone. They have now changed this process to be a little bit more equitable. And so let's talk about like what's changed. So there will now be, instead of a small window of time to kind of sign up, there will be a 24-hour window for speaker sign up. And after that 24-hour window, they'll let as many people who can get signed up in that 24 hours sign up, and then they'll put them in a lottery and they'll randomly select folks to speak at the board meeting. Now, if you say if you got chosen 2 months in a row, you are not able to speak 2 months consecutively. So then they'll go to the next person.
Oh.
So that's kind of the change that has happened with the board sign up process. So let's talk about like what remains the same. So sign up will still be the 4th Tuesday of the month, 48 hours before the Thursday meeting. There'll still be a total of 30 speaker slots, and 2 minutes will be allotted for each speaker. Again, this is the same, no consecutive monthly speakers. So this was something that happened before the process got changed, and it's staying the same. We cannot speak more than twice in a row. And then you will receive a confirmation email, which has always happened. And there will be hybrid options. So you can either come in person to speak at the board, or you can call in, join from Zoom or whatever. And so that is what the new board speaker, the speaker process looks like. Like I said, it's extremely important for us to get in those spaces. There's going to be 21 members on the board, and two members representing your district. And so making sure that you are able to get in front of them for any issues that you have. And so with that being said, that is all things elected school board for now. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat before we move on, or you can come off mute.
Yes, if you have any questions, our sessions are usually to 7:30, so we are ahead of schedule. So definitely take up this time to ask questions, curiosities. All right. Melanie also put the link, Chicago Board of Education sign up link for October 24th. It's on in the chat. Are there any final questions? If not, then I'm gonna go ahead and also provide the link for the exit survey. The exit survey is pretty much also just what did you learn? How did you like the presentation? I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here today. We do a raffle at the end. So definitely stick with us for that. Let's see how many people have completed the survey. Okay, we have one survey so far. 2 surveys filled out so far. Thank you, Paula. Carrie, thank you so much. All righty. Let's see how many we have so far. We're going to be raffling out 2 gift cards tonight. So definitely stick till the end. We are ahead of schedule. So thank you for being with us tonight. All right, we have 6 so far. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you, Shamira. If you have a topic that you would love for us to bring to living room, put it in the chat. We save the chat. We also have our, staff members taking notes for us. So we will capture that. If you're like, hey, what if we bring this topic? If it makes sense, if it's education policy based, if, it's something that we do, we'll definitely bring it to the table and we'll make sure to present. These are monthly sessions. So we'll be here again in November. Okay, let's see how many surveys. 9 surveys filled out so far. Thank you. I'll put in the link again. Thank you, Nancy, Laura, Alistair. All right, we have 11, so we can go ahead and move on. Edna said, ROPIC upcoming citywide RFP process for preschools for all funding for homes and centers. Oh, yes, for a topic. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for putting that here. I'll definitely take a note of that. If there's any more, definitely let us know. All right. Imani, for the last slide, if you refresh, so if you unshare and share, it should pop up like the last announcement. The last announcement is what you talked about, the youth-led candidate forum. Let's see. Oh no. That's weird. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll just go ahead and paste it in the chat so that parents have that information.
Do you want me to go through the announcements?
Yes.
Okay. So here are our announcements for the evening. Same time, same place here next month, November 19th will be our next living room session. So hopefully we see you guys next month. Something really important coming up. I know kind of like yearly, it seems like we have a town hall leading up to this transition to an elected school board. And so this year we'll be hosting our town hall on November 21st, virtually from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And the focus will be ensuring authentic engagement in the transition to a fully elected school board. So just making sure that the people who are most affected are being authentically engaged in decisions that are going to be made, especially thinking about the fact, like I've said this multiple times, that we were going to be going from a 7-member board to a 21-member board. So just making sure that those people are engaging the community. And then finally, if there are any announcements that anyone else would like to share, please feel free to raise your hand so you come off mute, or you can drop them in the chat.
Yes, and I'm also going to put the link to our website's event page for the November 21st. That's on our website. We're pretty good at, like, if we're hosting an event, it will most likely be on our website. So definitely, like, if you want to stay connected with us, go to kidsforchicago.org, sign up if you haven't already, and also just peep the events page. So the one that I just posted right now, that one is for the November 21st one. And then the one that Imani talked about earlier, the ESB Young Led Candidate Forum at Harold Washington Library. That one, I will put the link now.
And for the November 21st event, the town hall, we will be hosting in-person watch parties across the city. So if you want to go watch it with one of our community partners, please feel free to select in the RSVP which one you would like to join. Thank you, Edna. She says also feel free to share your event in this family group.
Definitely gonna go ahead and put it. If you have Instagram or Facebook, we also are putting our information there. So definitely. I already pulled it up. Thank you, Edna. The Birth to 5 Illinois. Got it. Thanks.
Before we wrap up with our raffle, do we have any more announcements? All right. I'm gonna give Zelly a minute to come back so she can do the raffle.
Sorry, my puppy was like, I need to potty.
Should I?
All right.
I'll stop sharing now.
Okay, sounds good. So we have our raffle. We're gonna be giving out two $25 gift cards. And so for our gift card, it's gonna start depending on the amount of people that are here with us today. So for if we have a range, right, from 1 to 15, we'll raffle one gift card. From 16 to another batch, we're gonna go ahead and raffle two. So that's kind of what we're doing now for our Living Room La Sala series. So we did have in the virtual space 18 parents. We currently have 16 right now. So thank you all so much for your time. We're gonna go ahead and raffle two gift cards. These gift cards are gonna be sent to your email address. I'm gonna review some of the names, the RSVP form. If I missed your name, let me know so that I can go ahead and put it on the screen. So I have Abigail, Adriana, Amari, Barton, Carrie, Kata, Corey, Darlene O'Banner, Dominique, Edna, Ella Blackwell, Estella Gamino, Estella Holloway, Janine, Jesse, Jalissa, Miss Melendez, Latrice, Laura Garcia, Lady Melendez, Louis, Moretta Brown Miller, Maria Navarrete, Martha Rubio, Nancy, Oliver, Paola, Rebecca, Selena, Sheila, Shamira, Veronica, and Yolanda. So these are all the participants that RSVP'd. You have to be present to claim your prize. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the raffle. I always include the picture of the participant that won, and I also show it. It's just I don't share my screen just because I have this freezing situation that always happens, but I'll show you guys live once it goes. Okay. So the first gift card winner is Adriana Perez. Is Adriana Perez with us today? If she's not on the call, then I can re-raffle. Adriana Perez. She is not here. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove. Let's do it again. Oh, one of the raffle winners is Yolanda Williams. Is Yolanda here? Say hello in the chat so we know that you're here. Yolanda Williams.
I see Yolanda's name still here in the chat, in the
I see
participants.
your name too. Yolanda, are you with us? Let me let my puppy in real quick. Can we wait? Oh, she's not. Okay. So let's go ahead and raffle the second card while we wait for her. Okay. Let's see. We want to know you're here with us. Barton, is Barton here? I don't think I saw their name. No. All right, let's remove. Let's raffle out the second $25 gift card. Amari. No, I don't see Amari's name here. You wanna, let's see. Amari is not here today. Let's raffle this one out. The suspense of it. All right. The second winner is Latrice. Is Latrice here? I know I saw her name. Yeah, she's here.
Latrice is here.
Put something in the chat.
Let me see. Oh, you know what? It looked like Latrice might have. Oh no, she go. There she is.
Latrice.
And Latrice, I might have to call you to let you know how to use it. She always struggles using the virtual gift cards.
Okay, so definitely expect an email. Miss Yolanda, the rule is that you have to put your present in the chat. Where are you? The truth is like, ain't that the truth? Imani got you. That's the rule, Miss Yolanda. Where are
You
you?
might have to. I directly messaged her and said you won the raffle, but she hasn't responded yet, so we
She
might have
hasn't
to raffle it
responded.
again.
Okay. Oh man, we have to be fair.
We love you though, Miss
We're
Yolanda.
holding on, but we have to be fair. All right. What do the parents say? Do we re-raffle?
Miss
Oh
Yolanda's
wait, Miss
raising her
Yolanda
hand.
raised her hand.
Miss Yolanda, you're here.
Just yes, right in time, Miss
Okay,
Yolanda.
perfect.
So I'm sorry. Look, I was trying to take something out the oven.
Oh.
I
All
stepped
right.
away and I heard my phone. I heard y'all laughing. I'm like, what they laughing at? And then and I'm like, oh shoot, I heard my name. My bad. I couldn't even figure out how to raise my hand.
Thank you for joining, Miss Yolanda, and we appreciate every parent that took the time to be with us. So definitely expect an email gift card for Yolanda and Latrice for $25.
Woo, woo.
No worries. All righty. So that's it for tonight, everyone. If you guys have any lingering questions, definitely stay back. But yes, thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for being here. We'll definitely send a follow-up email by next week.
Good night, Carrie.